Climate change devastation is again in the spotlight. You must have heard the news about the cyclone Gabrielle, which has caused extensive damage, destruction and death in New Zealand, forcing the nation to declare a national emergency on Tuesday, February 15th.
Cyclone Gabrielle has battered New Zealand.
And then here's the latest we know about the aftermath carved out by Cyclone Gabrielle.
New Zealand has declared a national emergency.
Death toll in New Zealand has climbed to 11.
The cyclone has caused flooding and landslide across the North Island. Many cities and towns are without power or clean drinking water. 11 people have died till now and thousands are still missing according to official data. Some 10,000 people are forced out of their homes. There is no electricity. Schools, roads, flights, everything is cancelled. Just imagine the situation. Now the question is, who is to be blamed for this disaster? Hello friends, my name is Rohit and in this video we're going to talk about the climate change.
It is unequivocal that human activities are responsible for climate change.
How dare you!
क्लाइमेट चेंज से होने वाली महातबाही को लेकर जो नई रिपोर्ट सामने आई है उसने हर किसी को डरा दिया.
This is not the first case of devastation caused by the climate change. Earlier also in Pakistan, around 33 million people had been impacted by the devastating flood.
The scale of the crisis is so massive. We're talking about illnesses, lost crops, displaced communities, and the effects of what's happened this year will be felt for at least a generation.
We became a victim of something with which we had nothing to do. And of course, it was a man-made disaster.
This is around half of the population of the UK. Families lost their homes, livelihood, and in some cases their loved ones. The record-breaking floods had killed over 1,700 people and 1.2 million livestock. Over 7.9 million people are now displaced. So what's wrong that we are doing? In case of Pakistan, flooding is an example of how climate change is affecting the environment and the world around us. In April, Pakistan experienced record-breaking heat with temperatures reaching over 40 degrees Celsius. Higher temperatures means glaciers melt faster in the Himalayas and the Hindu Kush region, which feed the Indus River. In case of New Zealand, however, climate change is not the direct cause of cyclone, but it alleviates its intensity. Basically, the tropical cyclones get their energy from the sea surface, and when the water is warmer, there is more energy available to be used. This makes for more powerful storms that grow faster. And in New Zealand, sea surface temperatures have been recording record levels this summer. Equally, the warming atmosphere also helps to fuel storms. Hot air holds more moisture, causing heavier rainfall like the recent downpours in Auckland that led to widespread flooding. So far, we have seen the cases of New Zealand and Pakistan and how climate change is to be blamed for that. But these are not the only cases. There have been a lot of these disasters in the past.
We begin in the US, where one of the most powerful storms.
Water levels in the key German river, the Rhine, appear to have stabilised somewhat after dropping dramatically during the current drought.
From hurricane in the US, droughts in Europe, driest climate in Spain and Portugal, to India recording natural disasters almost every single day in 2022. In India, overall, these disasters claimed about 3,000 lives, affecting 1.8 million hectares of crop area, destroyed over 4 lakh houses and killed close to 70,000 livestock. As you all know that the climate change is the long-term changes in the weather pattern in the region. It is also known as global warming, which simply means the rise in Earth's temperature. So what's creating all this heat? The infamous greenhouse gases. These gases, mainly carbon dioxide, methane and nitrous oxide, have accumulated in the atmosphere, where they trap the sun's heat, reflecting off the Earth. Out of these gases, carbon dioxide is the biggest contributor to the climate change. Now, don't get me wrong when I say that certain amount of greenhouse gases are necessary for sustaining the life on the earth, but the problem occurs when large amount of greenhouse gases start to accumulate in the atmosphere. It is widely acknowledged that the emission of these gases is primarily caused by us, the humans. Mainly, the human activities such as burning of fossil fuels, agriculture, and cutting down the trees contribute to this. We burn fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas to fuel cars, trucks, planes, and trains, and to heat our homes and workplaces. This releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Equally, agriculture produces methane. The gas released when cause and sheep belch, basically letting the gas out of their stomach through the mouth. Nitrous oxide is released by fertilized soil and animal waste. Another cause for climate change is deforestation, which has a dual impact. Trees absorb and store carbon dioxide, which means that they take some amount of the carbon out of the atmosphere. But when they are cut down and burned, this carbon dioxide is released. Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, people have burned more and more fossil fuels and changed vast areas of land from forests to farmland, ramping up the amount of gases in the atmosphere. As you can clearly see the spike in the amount of greenhouse gases released in the atmosphere. Now, what's the damage that has been done? Human-produced greenhouse emissions have already heated the planet by an average of roughly 1.2 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial world. At 1.5 degrees Celsius, the oceans will rise faster. Extreme weather such as drought and heat waves will become more frequent, and crops, plants and animals will shift their locations, with the pressure pushing some to extinction. Scientists have warned that the warming above 1.5 degrees Celsius leaves the earth vulnerable to climate tipping points, causing more severe economic and public health impacts everywhere, and makes life in some Pacific nations unjustified.
In Tuvalu, we are living the realities of climate change.
It is agreed that so far, the world hasn't done enough to make 1.5 degrees Celsius a reality. It is much more likely that by the end of the century, global temperatures will be 2.8 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial levels. And the consequences will be like this. Now, what can we do? The best we can do as an individual is to keep our government accountable for climate change. But making changes at an individual level is important too. Use less energy, make sure your house is insulated, take the bus instead of the car, those sort of obvious things. If it's a nationwide effort, then it does make a difference. Now, will the climate change ever go back to normal? Even if we stopped emitting greenhouse gases right now, it is going to take a long time to remove all the human-made greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. It is more likely that our immediate future holds the risk of an increase in extreme rain, drought and wildfires. Areas that rely on rainwater for drinking and pasture will be especially hard hit by droughts. Rising sea levels will make many coastal communities and infrastructure vulnerable to floods, tsunami and other natural disasters. Climate change will affect all aspects of our lives. The loss of species and native ecosystem, our physical and mental health, how we spend our leisure time, the economy, building, infrastructure, or industries. Our best hope to start with limiting further warming to the crucial 1.5 degree Celsius. Thank you for watching and learning more about climate change. We hope this video has helped you better understand the importance of taking action to address this critical issue. Remember, the solution to climate change exists, and it is up to all of us to play our part by making small changes in our daily lives, supporting policies that prioritize sustainability and reducing carbon emissions, and encouraging our leaders to take action and make a difference. Let's work together to create a healthier and more sustainable planet for ourselves and future generations. Thank you for being a part of this movement.